This video contains spoilers. Like these!
You know, I love The Legend of Zelda. It's one of those games that just pulls you in with its deep history, colorful characters, and amazing gameplay. When I heard that the creators of Dynasty Warriors were going to be creating a Zelda game, I was ecstatic. Well, the game's been out for some time, and I finally got around to playing it, so here's my review for Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors is a unique entry in the Zelda franchise, developed by Omega Force, the creators of Dynasty Warriors, and Team Ninja, the creators of Dead or Alive and the less than stellar Metroid Other M. Despite the unlikely collaboration, Omega Force and Team Ninja were able to create a very fun and engaging game. Hyrule Warriors brings the hack-and-slash action of Dynasty Warriors to the mythical lands of Hyrule, complete with massive hordes of enemy soldiers, flashy combo attacks, and corny battle chatter.
I've been a fan of Dynasty Warriors for a long time now, so when I heard that Zelda was getting the Warriors treatment, I was excited yet skeptical. Would such a departure from the Zelda Formula work? Could they make a game that didn't rely on fan service but instead respected the source material? Could they make a good game? Well, let's find out.
Campaign in Hyrule Warriors follows the trend of Dynasty Warriors 7 and 8, where you play a single campaign that is shared among all characters, rather than each character having a campaign that's unique to them. In some ways, this is good. If there's a character that you don't like, you don't have to sit through a 5 to 6 level campaign with them. I'm looking at you, Oichi. You and that stupid ball and cup. The story starts with Princess Zelda standing in a field playing the harp. Things turn ugly when mysterious darkness comes out of nowhere and swallows the land. Zelda runs for her life, and as the darkness surrounds her, she wakes up. Turns out it was just a dream, and one that she's had before. Zelda's retainer Impa suggests that they search for the reborn spirit of the hero. But what the hell does a hero's spirit look like? Turns out it's blonde. Zelda spots the only blonde soldier in the entire Hyrulean army. As they stare deeply into each other's souls, a soldier reports that a horde of monsters is approaching the castle. Zelda and Impa rush off to defend the castle, leaving Link to just kinda stand there. Feeling left out of the action, Link grabs a sword and rushes off to join the battle. The game wastes no time and puts you right into the action. Your first mission is to catch up with Princess Zelda, but Volga, a fire-breathing dragon man, blocks your path. Just when things are looking bad, a mysterious power awakens within you. It's the Triforce of Courage, proof that you're the reborn hero. Volga runs away, leaving you a clear path to Zelda and the mysterious wizard controlling the army. After the Great Fairy helps you destroy a large number of enemies, the wizard summons King Dodongo in hopes that this will stop you in your tracks. If you've played Zelda before, you know how to deal with this guy. Cram some bombs down his throat, smack him upside the head a few times, then do some flashy, spinny slash attacks for good measure. When the dust settles, you find that Princess Zelda has disappeared. Oh no, how predictable. Unfortunate. So Link and Impa go out in search of the missing princess. On their journey, they meet the mysterious Sheik. Hold on, wait a minute. Is Sheik's identity still a mystery to us? Ocarina of Time came out over 15 years ago, and even if you haven't played that, you'd know that Zelda is Sheik just because you've played Super Smash Bros. Who are they trying to surprise here? But anyway, you meet Sheik, who is in no way Princess Zelda in disguise, and Lana, a young sorceress leading a resistance against the darkness. It just so happens that Lana knows who's behind this terrible evil. Sia, a sorceress who used to watch over the balance of the Triforce. Her magic allowed her to look across space and time but never interfere with the lives of those she watched. But when she laid eyes upon Link, she got a raging lady boner. This became an obsession that led to her descent into evil. The spirit of Ganon used this opportunity to possess Link's #1 stalker and forced the remaining righteousness out of Sia's heart. On a side note, I can now see why they got Team Ninja to work on this game. With the addition of Lana, Link and his friends march to the Valley of Seers to confront and stop the wicked sorceress. After an epic battle, Sia opens the Gate of Souls, which tears a rift in space and time. This combines all the best parts from the best console Zelda titles ever. Except for Wind Waker. Because fuck Wind Waker. You have the Water Temple, the Twilight Zone, this thing. From this point, the story splits into 3 branches. Through these branches, you meet up with some of Zelda's most memorable characters. You got Darunia, the Goron chief, Ruto, the Zora princess, Fi, the spirit of the goddess sword, Midna, the princess of the twilight, and Agatha, that Lolita bug girl that had no impact on the story of Twilight Princess whatsoever. The girl you could play the entire game and never meet. I can't believe they're serious. I mean, there's so many other great characters that they could have picked from. Like, this guy. Or, what about, you know what, forget I said anything. Agatha's a great choice. So Agatha and the other Zelda veterans must help Link close the Soul Gates and defeat Sia in order to return Hyrule to normal. You play 2 levels in each era as you battle against some familiar faces. After completing the 3 branching paths and closing the Soul Gates, everybody reconvenes to get a weapon that will help end Sia's reign of terror, the legendary Master Sword. With the Blade of Evil's Bane in their possession, Link and friends confront Sia for the final time. After stopping Sia and closing the last Soul Gate, Lana sends their new friends back to their own time. With the forces of evil stopped, Link, Zelda, and Impa return to Hyrule Castle where they live happily ever after. The end. The fun's not over yet, as Ganondorf got his strength back and is ready to conquer Hyrule. You play the next 3 levels as the Demon King himself, as you ready his army for invasion. Like the infamous Lu Bu and Keiji Maeda, Ganondorf is a beast who takes on entire armies by himself. In fact, the purpose of the first level is to defeat an entire army so he can make an army for himself. Once his army is raised, Ganondorf, Girahim, and Zant march to Hyrule. Although it's fun, your time with Ganondorf is short-lived. Before you know it, you're back with the heroes mounting a final battle against Ganondorf. As far as final battles go, this is a pretty difficult one. Ganondorf shows no mercy and chances of victory rapidly vanish if you let your allies retreat. After a long and arduous battle with Ganondorf, Hyrule Castle returns to normal and you say goodbye to your friends for the final time. Link and Zelda return the Master Sword, and then they do whatever it is they always do at the end of a Zelda game.
Now that we're done talking about the story, we can talk about the gameplay. One word, awesome.
This is some of the best combat in a Zelda game yet. You're able to attack and dodge quickly, which makes combat an absolute joy. You have 2 types of attacks, regular and heavy. By using different combinations of regular and heavy attacks, you can perform some beautiful and devastating moves, such as Link's spinning sword attack. As you deal damage, your special attack meter fills up. Once it's full, you're able to perform a cutscene attack which deals massive damage. In addition to all this, you can perform a Focus Spirit attack when your magic meter is full. The Focus Spirit lets your attacks cut through enemy defenses, which is very handy in later game battles. Hyrule Warriors also includes Z-targeting, which allows you to keep your focus on the enemy at all times. This is a feature that hasn't been in any other Warriors games before. Being able to stay focused means you can shield yourself and dodge attacks much more efficiently. This also means that you will never lose sight of the enemy should they avoid one of your attacks. Switching targets can be cumbersome at times, but luckily there aren't too many instances where you'll have to do that. The ability to sprint makes up for the lack of forces, which were the only way to travel quickly in previous Warriors games. The game also runs smoothly. There are so many enemies on screen at once, and slowdown isn't very common. And I know this has been fixed relatively recently, but it is so good to be able to see more than 20 feet ahead of you, which was a big problem in older Dynasty and Samurai Warriors titles. With so many enemies, it is very easy to finish levels with over 2,000 kills. I mean, just look how useless these enemies are. You can literally just stand still and their attacks will rarely hit you. Each level has you running around from keep to keep, saving your stupid soldiers from stupid enemy soldiers and establishing strongholds that spawn more stupid soldiers. The other warriors on your team do a decent job at slowing down and distracting enemies, and you can easily restore their health when they are in danger. One cool perk that comes from using the gamepad is that it displays your teammates' health. Now you can tell if their cries for help are actually legitimate, or if they just stubbed their toe and are crying about it. Hyrule Warriors has a variety of difficulties ranging from the walk in the park easy mode to the how do they expect me to do this hero mode. And I'll be honest with you, during my first playthrough on normal, I did fail a few missions. But it was because I didn't keep track of my allies' health and I couldn't save one of them in time. The missions in-game aren't too hard, and if you fail one, it doesn't set off a chain reaction of failure. Luckily, the dreaded Engineer Escort mission only shows up once, and it's not too difficult. Probably the biggest downside to this game is how repetitive it can be. Running around and clearing keep after keep after keep can get old, and there isn't much mission variety beyond clearing keeps and escorting members to keeps that need clearing. This is really a problem that exists mostly within the campaign. The other game modes are much more varied and provide a breath of fresh air when things are getting stale. Free mode lets you play any campaign level with any character that you'd like. Challenge mode has you fighting unique battles with special victory conditions. Then, there's Adventure mode. Adventure mode could almost be a whole game within itself. You travel across the overworld from the original Zelda, completing battles with unique scenarios on each screen. You may be limited to a certain character, you may have to kill a certain number of enemies within the time limit, or you may have to fight several giant bosses at once. There are many more scenarios with increasing difficulty than these. After the battle, you get ranked on how well you fought. Depending on the rank you earn, you could unlock new areas to explore, new weapons, new characters, and so much more. Adventure mode is huge and keeps the game going long after the campaign's been completed.
There is one weird thing about this game, and that's the voice acting. Now, the Warriors games aren't exactly known for their stellar voice acting.
My lord, is this wind going to keep on blowing?
Destroying such a beautiful formation. Our foes are truly savages.
Many characters have annoying voices and dialogue can get pretty repetitive at times.
Did I just do that all by myself? Did I just do that all by myself? Did I just do that all by myself? Did I just do that all by myself?
In Hyrule Warriors, there is no spoken dialogue, other than a bored narrator, who you only hear in between levels.
Link and his troops stepped through one of the portals, appearing in an era of fantastical sights. Link's rashness nearly cost him his life as shadowy doubles overwhelmed him. Zelda was determined to end the war before the day was through.
All dialogue is expressed through text, and the characters were clearly animated to look like they're speaking it, but all they make are these weird groaning, grunting, and moaning noises. This becomes problematic as it's difficult to focus on what the characters are telling you when you're running around slaughtering anything that looks at you funny.
I really like this game. It never felt like Dynasty Warriors with a coat of Zelda paint slapped on it. It was its own thing and it was awesome. I feel like the developers really understood the Zelda universe and created a game that was appealing to both longtime fans and newcomers without compromising complexity or depth. If you're a fan of Zelda or of just good action games, then I'm sure you'll like Hyrule Warriors.
Thank you so much for watching my video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. If you want to see more Hyrule Warriors action, go ahead and click on that annotation to see my full playthrough.